Hello and welcome to the Lloyd Dowson Autumn Budget Summary with myself, Phil Thompson, the Head of Tax. I'm joined today by our Chairman, David Dowson, and one of my rising stars in tax, Josh Fox. We're here to talk about what he did, or perhaps what he didn't say today when he stood up for an hour or so, and talk you through what changes may be affected. What did you make of it in general, David?
This was always going to be the impossible budget, really, with still the uncertainty of Brexit. After all this time, we've got a minority government in there. The opposition are waiting in the wings to criticise. Whatever he does, he's not going to win, but it'll give them some bullets to fire for the next couple of days, so it might be interesting.
Yeah, maybe. But there was a couple of things in there, and Josh, you saw a couple of things in there for the younger people out there.
Yeah, he's offered a relief on stamp duty. So for the first £300,000 house, for a first-time buyer, you'll pay no stamp duty on it, which for us locally, I mean, the average cost of a first-time house around here, it's going to be well less than that, so it's good for people locally, really. If you buy a house up to £500,000, the first 300,000 still gets the relief, and you're only paying out on that excess 200,000. And for those lucky few who can afford a first-time house at more than £500,000, they'll still pay it. But if you buy a house for that much, then they'll argue rightly so.
And the savings locally are quite significant as well, though, aren't they?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Josh. I think we'll probably benefit being in a rural area than anybody else, because at 300,000 you'll buy a bed sit in London maybe, and round here buy yourself a nice family house. So I think it's good for where we mainly operate.
And it follows on as well, really, from the earlier things he's done, such as the LISA, where first-time buyers can put £4,000 a year into an account. Yeah. It's topped up with a 25% bonus. Yeah. So it is doing more and more to encourage people, really.
We do have slight problems that the target, I understand, is 300,000 houses a year. We've got a major skills shortage in this country. Who's going to build them?
Well,
that's the question.
He's putting some money into training those as well, he tells us, so but it's going to take some time.
That's great, Phil, but it doesn't happen overnight. If we're trying to build these houses straight away, there's probably a 5 or 6 year gap when we get the skilled tradesmen skilled up and ready to go, but it's a good target. It's 300,000 a year.
It's a target, but they're not going to come down right away at the prices.
So that's something that will affect people locally, and it's a good thing, and so there wasn't too much of that in there, to be honest. But one thing I noticed as well was that he did tweak some more incentives on the research and development side of things, which is a bit of a shining light in all the doom and gloom out there, that businesses can get these tax breaks for doing what perhaps a lot of them don't think is research and development, but a lot more people qualify, certainly in our client base, and we first realised, David.
Well, it's one of our specialist subjects for 2017 and going forward. Yeah. And we've all been surprised at how many businesses qualify for R&D relief, and it's unusual, but it's there to be had. And I know the number of claims that you guys have done in the tax department. It's one worth looking at for any business that comes anywhere near potential R&D relief.
Absolutely. On average, our reclaim is about 40 grand a year per client, and it's just increased the chances of that as well. So something that's really useful and relevant to our client bases as well. But a few other things in there that you noticed from a company side of things, David.
Yeah, there was the stopping of indexation allowance for companies that are selling assets that they've owned for a long time up to today. We got the inflation allowance going back to when they actually bought the assets, and that's been stopped now. It's been quite an anomaly between private individuals and companies anyway, so it's a bit naughty, but it's not unexpected.
No. But a very valuable thing to the companies that have been rolling on, really. It can save them a lot of money.
Definitely, and I think we need to look at the clients that are holding long-term assets and try to advise them whether it's a good time to sell earlier. Now you get the full allowance up to today, so an earlier sale might be beneficial than a later sale, but it's not going to change the world, is it?
No. It's again, it's just stopping something, and it's just a way of them clawing some more money back, isn't it? Really, but there we go. So those are a few other things. Actually, what we did notice, Josh, when we were watching the budget speech, was perhaps what he didn't mention, which was a few rumours fly around before he stands up, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have the speculation a few weeks beforehand, really. Will he do anything with VAT? Will he still stick to his corporation tax agreement? He scrapped the national insurance plans on the last one. Will he bring them back in? Actually, nothing really changed on that. We're still on course for corporation tax to be 17% in 2020, and the VAT thresholds remain at 85,000. So So no change really.
No, a lot of speculation with that to do with the forthcoming Making Tax Digital, which has already itself been bumped back a year from April 18 to April 19, and there were talk about the VAT registered people are going in first. If we reduce the threshold, then we'd get more people into this new system. Didn't happen. Bit of a relief for the average man in the street, I would imagine, because that's going to be a new challenge for them when it does come in. So some changes there. Other things that they did mention, which he kind of talked about future plans really, because he did run out of things to kind of give us anything on, was he talks about the IR35 rules in the private sector, following on what's happened in April this year in the public sector, David. Which
it did, and I think he had to look at that really, because there are anomalies, and unfortunately the genuinely self-employed professional people and not so professional people who use that conduit to run their businesses through is going to affect everybody, to straighten up a small minority really who abuse the rules. But we knew it was coming. We'd had it in all the press. It's been on the television, attacking agency workers in hospitals and even in the Houses of Parliament. So
absolutely,
we knew it was coming. I mean, the one thing that I was pleased with is left the proposed cuts in corporation tax rates, which encourages existing businesses, profitable businesses, to leave money in, reinvest, create more jobs, despite what the opposition will say. You're leaving the rich with the rich. It's really proving successful for businesses to leave cash in, invest in the future.
Absolutely. And he did give a bit of a nod of how the 1% cut from 20 to 19 had been a bit of a success as well, so that was encouraging to hear. So that's side of it. As an aside, he mentioned a full review of trusts, which hasn't been done for about 10 or 12 years, probably due a bit of a look at and see where we go. But again, both of these things are due out in the next calendar year, 2018. We'll see what he has to say about that side of things.
So really, a bit of a disappointing budget, really, as far as I can see. I think he was frightened to do too much. There is the uncertainty with Brexit. There's the opposition waiting to shoot him down, whatever he did. Disappointing because the financial press wound it up. They were getting people to expect something completely different and horrendous. It hasn't happened. It's quite a level budget. I don't think it's pleased as many people as it potentially should have done. But with the uncertainty of Brexit in the background, how can you plan the economy for next year?
No, I agree. I think he's been brought in to be the steady hand that he's proving to be. So not so much to go on now, but we'll see as things go on, because there are things in the pipeline.
Strikes us very safe, doesn't it?
It does.
Safe rather than spectacular, I feel like.
I think that's a fair conclusion. But so that's our take on today's autumn budget. If you guys want to give us a call about anything that you've heard today, please pick up the phone, and I'm sure the details will be on the bottom of the screen. Thank you very much.